Bemidbar, or Numbers 14 through 15, and Tehillim, or Psalms 90. Numbers 14. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron, and all the congregation said to them, "If only we had died in the land of Mitzrayim, or if only we had died in this wilderness. And why is YHVH bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become a prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Mitzrayim?" And they said to each other, "Let us appoint a leader, and let us turn back to Mitzrayim." Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments. And they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, "The land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If YHVH has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against YHVH, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense has turned away from them, and YHVH is with us. Do not fear them." But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the esteem of YHVH appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. And YHVH said to Moshe, "How long shall I be scorned by these people? And how long shall I not be trusted by them with all the signs which I have done in their midst? Let me strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they." And Moshe said to YHVH, "Then the Mitzrites shall hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from their midst. And they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, YHVH, are in the midst of these people, that you, YHVH, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of cloud by day, and in a column of fire by night. Now if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, 'Because YHVH was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of YHVH be great. You have spoken, saying, YHVH is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Please forgive the crookedness of these people according to the greatness of your loving commitment, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now." And YHVH said, "I shall forgive according to your word, but truly, as I live and all the earth is filled with the esteem of YHVH. For none of these men who have seen my esteem and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 times, and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorned me shall see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him, and has followed me completely, I shall bring into the land where he went, and his seed shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley, turn back tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. And YHVH spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, How long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I've heard the grumblings which the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Say to them, As I live, declares YHVH, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. The carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness, all of you who were registered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above. None of you, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Yehoshua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in the wilderness, and your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and shall bear your whorings until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of days in which you spied out the land, 40 days. A day for a year. A day for a year you are to bear your crookedness 40 years, and you shall know my breaking off. I am YHVH, I have spoken, I shall do this to all this evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. And the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land, even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before YHVH. Of those men who went to spy out the land, only Yehoshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, remained alive. And when Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and went to the top of the mountain, saying, See, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which YHVH had spoken of. But Moshe said, Why do you now transgress the mouth of YHVH, since it does not prosper? Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for YHVH is not in your midst. Because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from YHVH. YHVH is not with you. But they presumed to go up to the mountaintop. But neither the ark of the covenant of YHVH nor Moshe left the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in the mountain came down and struck them and beat them down even to Hormah. Bemidbar, or Numbers 15. And YHVH spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I'm giving you, and you make an offering by fire to YHVH, an ascending offering, or a slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed times, to make a sweet fragrance to YHVH from the herd or from the flock, then he who brings near his offering to YHVH shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine, as a drink offering you prepare with the ascending offering or slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil, and as a drink offering you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine, as a sweet fragrance to YHVH. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering, or as a slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a peace offering to YHVH, then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of oil, and bring as the drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine, as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to YHVH. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat. According to the number that you prepare, so you do for each one according to their number. Let all who are native do so with them in bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to YHVH. And when a sojourner sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and would make an offering by fire, a sweet fragrance to YHVH, as you do, so he does. One law is for you of the assembly and for the sojourner who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the sojourner before YHVH. One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the sojourner who sojourns with you. And YHVH spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land which I bring you, then it shall be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you present a contribution to YHVH. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution. As a contribution of the threshing floor, you present it. Of the first of your dough you are to give to YHVH, a contribution throughout your generations. And when you sin by mistake, and do not do all these commands which YHVH has spoken to Moshe, all that YHVH has commanded you by the hand of Moshe, from the day YHVH gave the command and onward, throughout your generations, then it shall be, if it's done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as an ascending offering, as a sweet fragrance to YHVH, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to YHVH, and their sin offering before YHVH for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the sojourner who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. And if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat 1 year old as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake when he sins by mistake before YHVH, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. For him who does whatever by mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel, and for the sojourner who sojourns in their midst. But the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he's a native or a sojourner, he reviles YHVH, and that being shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of YHVH and has broken his command. That being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him in under guard because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And YHVH said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death, all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones as YHVH commanded Moshe, and he died. And YHVH spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them to make tzitzi on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzi of the corner. And it shall be to you for a tzitzi, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commands of YHVH, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went whoring, so that you remember, and shall do all my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. I am YHVH your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your Elohim. I am YHVH your Elohim. Tehillim 90, or Psalm 90. YHVH, you have been our refuge in all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you had brought forth the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, you are El. You turn man back to dust and say, Return, O children of men. For 1,000 years in your eyes are like yesterday that is past, or like a watch in the night. You've swept them away. They are as sleep, like grass that springs up in the morning. In the morning it flourishes and springs up. At evening it is cut down and withered. For we have been consumed by your displeasure, and by your wrath we are alarmed. You've set our crookedness before you. Our secret sin is in the light of your face. For all our days have passed away in your wrath. We spend our years like a whisper. The days of our lives are 70 years, or, if due to strength, 80 years. Yet the best of them is but toil and exertion, for it is soon cut off and we fly away. Who knows the power of your displeasure and your wrath according to the fear of you? Teach us to number our days, and let us bring the heart to wisdom. Return, O YHVH, how long? And be sorry for your servants. Satisfy us in the morning with your loving commitment, and let us sing for joy all our days. Give us joy according to the days you have afflicted us, the years we have seen evil. Reveal your work to your servants and your splendor to their children, and let the pleasantness of YHVH, our Elohim, be upon us, and confirm the work of our hands for us. Oh, confirm the work of our hands.